See, when we talk about the names and attributes of Allah, so why we learn the names and attributes? Because we know the clear understanding who is Allah. Sometimes, like I said, when we meet a friend, we do not know about that, what he does and what he likes, what he doesn't like, how he behaves, and how he can. So everything we know when we get to know a friend more. When you meet a person one time, two times, three times, you get to know, and then you will understand. Hey, he's very nice, a smile. He's a very Christian good guy. He's a very merciful. He's very kind. He's a very helping. So we know as a human being to other human beings, because Allah is unseen reality. Nobody can see Allah. In our life, we will not be able to see Allah. On this, especially on this, in this temporary life on this earth. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, but in the day of judgment, Allah will give you a special capability to the believer. They will be able to see. Special situation. You know, what that would be is still not defined yet. But there will be a capability the believer will be able to see. But today, what we can see it, we can know the attributes of Allah. His names of Allah. That has the powerful meaning in that. The power of Allah shows through His attributes. How He is all merciful, all knowing, all hearing, all loving. All those names and attributes of Allah tells us the power and the depth and understanding and how Allah uses these words and attributes in the Quran. So we get some more idea with this message also. So that's why it's very important to know Allah and His attributes so that we can understand the Quran and how Allah ends those attributes and use those attributes to give us a powerful message. So today we'll go with this some of those attributes after Al-Mumin. Al-Hayy is basically the ever living. Now human beings live and die. Everything gets birth and the time over is determined. So everybody has a clock. Even the flowers, the animal, the plants and trees and human being, everything on this earth, the stars, even the biggest star, you know, the one you see that the star also goes away, you know. If you look in the sky, you know, the stars have millions of years of age, and after that they also destroyed. And one day the earth, sun and the moon and everything will be destroyed. Allah talks about that. So everything has a life, but everything has also a death. Allah created death and life together. First thing Allah created is the death, and then Allah gave to life. And then again everything will die, and then again everything will be resurrected. So second life will be the next life. That will be the eternal life for the believer. And that's the whole idea of experiencing this short life. So as a Muslim, we should not be worried about if we die, what will happen next. Because we know what is going to happen. We know who is Allah. We know who gave the life in the first place. And that's the whole concept that gave us a satisfaction as a believer, that we should not be worried about that. Our death is recorded. Allah has already made the decision that every single human being will die. Even the Prophet ﷺ died. All the prophets and messengers came and they left this world. So we will be living this earth. But the way we're going to have to live, Allah says, do not die as a Muslim. We have to return as a believer. We have to return to Allah as a believer. Now, this is the attributes that Allah gave to creation. The creation is not Al-Hayy. Only Allah is Al-Hayy. When A-L, we use the word A-L means D. That was a definite article. And Al-Hayy means Allah is the ever-living. The living means that He is the everlasting, ever-living. So, nothing can be experienced as a death for Allah. Okay? If somebody say, if there is no Allah, then who's going to run the universe? One who created has to be always living. Allah is uncreated. Nobody created Allah. Allah is uncreated. Allah is eternal. Allah is absolute. He is only one, and He is everlasting, ever living. So these are the names and attributes of Allah defined in Al-Hayy. Al-Hayy is Allah is ever living and everlasting. And then Himself is ever living, and He also, like I said, when He is the ever living, He is the one who provides you the life. He can give us the life, and He can cause us to die, because He is the source of everything. Now the example we're going to look into it, chapter number 255 and 3, 2, and a couple of you will look into it, inshallah. See, everybody, most of the Muslims, they memorize this. This is called the Ayatul Kursi. And in this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the attributes. We're going to be using two attributes. One is Al-Hayy, and another one is Al-Qayyum also. So we're going to second one also we cover in this surah. And this is very important. And this is recommended. If you memorize it, it's very important. And there's a lot of benefits to this surah. Before you go to sleep, if you remember that, then memorize. If you memorize and before you go to bed, you recite that actually. And that's a protection for you. There's a lot of benefit to this surah also too. And after the first prayer, some also people recommend, if you can't do it, you can also memorize this and recite that. There's a lot of benefit to this. A lot of benefits the scholar have mentioned about it. And they draw this idea from the hadith, why it's so important. So let's play this and we'll see. Like,
Allah, there is no deity except Him, the ever-living, the sustainer of all existence. Neither drowsiness overtakes Him nor sleep. To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on earth. Who is it that can intercede with Him except by His permission? He knows what is before them and what will be after them, and they encompass not a thing of His knowledge except for what He wills. His Kursi extends over the heavens and the earth, and their preservation tires Him not. And He is the Most High, the Most Great.
okay. There are many attributes Allah have used in that. And the last one is Aliyul Azim also. And Allah, Huwa al-Hayyul Qayyum, which is the ever-living, and Qayyum is the sustainer of all that exists. Okay. There are two attributes, sustainer of all that exists. So Allah has created everything. He is the one who provides the sustenance. If He creates something, He doesn't provide us a food, we will die. Why? He sent the rain, and He gave the plants and fruits and vegetables, everything comes. So that all human being can eat there, all the animal can eat there, and we also have a food from animal too. So this everything Allah provided the sustenance. So the Al-Hayy, He is ever living, and then He is also Qayyum because He is the one who sustains everything. He maintained all His creation. So He's the Al-Hayyul Al-Qayyum. So both the attributes you can learn from here. So the second one is Al-Qayyum, the self-existing, by whom all subsist. Everything depends on Allah. And this is the both ayat we look into it. We look into other one is 3:2. I would recommend everybody make a favorite to.
Is it Quran 4:1:1, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I saw the Quran 4:1:1.com. Is this not
That's called the recitequran.com.
Recite Quran.
Allah, there is no deity except Him, the ever-living, the sustainer of existence.
So this is again the second example. This was exactly the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described. So there is no deity except Him. So means nobody could be ever living or sustainer of all things other than Allah. Allah is the only one who is all living. Nobody else. So this is a proof is here again in the Quran. Somebody said, but Jesus was ever living also. No, Jesus was not ever. Jesus was created by Allah. He was born as a woman, from the woman. One time a guy was asking me, what do you think about Jesus? I said, God never get birth. If Jesus got, he was born of a woman. Does God ever get birth? Because he's always there. He's eternal. So God never gets the birth. Nobody gave birth to God, and God never gave birth to anybody. So that's why he's eternal. That's why he's absolute. And that's why he's ever living. So he said, but I said, if Jesus was born of a woman, and everybody is born of a woman, so it's not unique even. God has to be unique. Let's see, if we say Jesus has a special face, doesn't compare to human being, beautiful human being, the most beautiful human being, and he comes from a sky, not even from born of a woman. Even then he's a human being, because he was taking the shape of a human being. It's still not going to be unique, because still you can compare with other human beings. But that will make a little bit more important case, because it's not born of a woman at least. So I said your case is not very strong ever, because Jesus was born of a woman. And God never gets birth. He's eternal. So in that case, Jesus can't be God, because he is not eternal. He got the birth. And Allah created Jesus. So the argument doesn't make any sense. And that's why he has no idea after that. He said, what to do. So sometimes we just these are the two attributes. And the third one we will go with that is Al-Wajid. The self.
Qayyum meaning, you can't tell me the meaning.
Okay. Al-Qayyum is the self-existing by all subsist. By whom all subsist. Everything depends on Allah. Everything, Al-Qayyum means, because he's the one who establishes everything. Once you create, then you provide how you maintain it. Thus you make a car, then you have to maintain. You have to provide the oil, you provide the driver, you provide the maintenance, everything. So once you create, and then you maintain it. So everything's self, but nobody maintain Allah. Allah does not depend on anything. Because he's the one who provided everything. Everybody depends on Allah. Allah does not depend on anything. Nobody provides the food. Allah said one day, I don't need your food or something, because I'm the one who provides you.
It comes from Qayyum.
Vocabulary, because something is existence, it's Qayyum, that's why you can draw that meaning actually. Qayyum. So again, our other meaning is again Wajid, the self-sufficient. So Allah is a self-sufficient. Can human being be self-sufficient? No. Can't be. But some human being, when they got so much money, they think I don't need nobody. And that will make them what? Arrogant. Okay? This is the nature of human being. When he's poor, he's begging the money. Once he becomes rich, he has so much money he forgets his own day. And then he becomes arrogant. And he says, oh, I don't need nobody. I can do anything I want. And that's basically.
That's the one reason to get good response from the low income area than the high income area.
Well, that's.
So we see a lot of, the rich area we go, people even argue.
Yeah,
And
well,
when
rich
you
area,
go-
again, of course.
Yeah, when you go
Because
to the regular
people who think they are self-sufficient,
Yeah.
they don't need Allah. So we will look into that, how human being thinks and how Allah is. Allah is nobody. Allah is self-sufficient. So Allah is again the idea of that Allah does not need nobody. Everybody depends on Allah. Even the person who does not have anything and he becomes rich and he thinks I don't need Allah, and he becomes like a Pharaoh, was described as arrogant, and because thinking I'm a self-sufficient. There's a lot of people act like they are self-sufficient. And some of the example we see, if you look into that, the first chapter, the first surah was revealed, which was, read, Iqra bismi rabbika already, chapter 96. If you look into that surah, Allah described the human being in that, and we will understand the first surah in that Allah describes the human, it talks about the human being and how he turns, and it's a very important lesson to learn.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق
Recite in the name of your Lord who created.
خلق الإنسان من علق
Created man from a clinging substance.
اقرأ وربك الأكرم
Recite that your Lord is the most generous.
الذي علم بالقلم
Who taught by the pen.
علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم
Taught man that which he knew not.
كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى
No, but indeed man transgresses,
أن رآه استغنى
because he sees himself self-sufficient.
إن إلى ربك الرجعى
Indeed, to your Lord is the return.
Now in this surah, there's a few verses, very important, powerful, important. Why so? The surah is very important. First of all, is the first experience of Prophet ﷺ. He was in the cave. He used to meditate or think about people of Makkah, and he was thinking about why their conditions are so bad, And he was very caring person. He looked for all the problem of his society. So he would go to cave and he prayed to God. And one day the angel Gabriel comes and he brought the surah. And this surah, he was amazed that somebody is asking him to recite. And look at the beautiful wording in this. Each area Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covers it. Recite in the name of your Lord who created. So Allah created a human being in the name of your Lord who created. Created from a clinging substance. This is again the science today developed that idea is that how human beings were created, a clinging substance. Recite, and your Lord is the most generous. Now Allah is saying, I'm the most generous. I created you and I'm the one who is generous, the most generous. And who taught by the pen. This is amazing. Allah gave it knowledge and wisdom and intellect. Human being can read and write, use the pen, communicate, make the message. That's very important power. No animal can do it, That's why when the angel is talking to human being, and he says, Allah taught you by pen. So now the knowledge already Allah gave a human being that he will be able to write, he will be able to communicate. Allama al-insana ma lam ya'lam. And Allah gave the knowledge, a human being has no knowledge of that. Now we discover everything. We got iPhone, the computers and things and aeroplane. Who's to give this knowledge? It is Allah. Allah says human being has no knowledge, but Allah revealed to him. Allah gave him a pen in the column to how he communicate, how he can research, he can write, he can study, and all the things. And the knowledge Allah gave, the human being has no knowledge. So Allah gave them, look at it. If the animal ever changed the jungle, never. They're there. Because they don't have it. The monkeys are there, the camels are there, everything is there. And in the jungle, and there is no change. We don't see any high-rise building over there, we don't see anything. But the human being changed. You look at the desert, they made different things. Look at the tallest building, the aeroplane, things, communication. Why? Allah gave the knowledge and wisdom and they discovered things. And Allah is more generous. This is a gift from Allah. That's what Allah said. Allah is the most generous. And then Allah reminds them, I created you and gave you the pen, the knowledge and wisdom. And then the knowledge which you have no idea. And then after that, what Allah says. Now the important point. The important part, everything you got it? No, but indeed the man transgressed. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَيَطْغَى. لَيَطْغَى means the transgress. Or he disobey Allah, Now he doesn't care. He disobey Allah. Why he doesn't care? He thinks I got out there. An-raha astaghna. Astaghna means self-sufficient. The word astaghna here is self-sufficient. He thinks I'm the one, I doesn't need anything. Self-sufficient. She's arrogant.
So, Jibreel is talking about the people who
Yeah.
brought in through Prophet Muhammad.
Through Prophet Muhammad giving a human being. Because Prophet ﷺ was representing the human being.
The answer of the questions.
Exactly.
He
Yeah.
has some questions.
Yeah.
And this is the answer.
Exactly. The human beings are giving the answer. Look at that, your Lord is most generous, He is most merciful, He gave you knowledge and wisdom, He gave you all the things. And now you guys turn, you disobey me. Yatgha and astaghna, and then you become self-sufficient. You think you don't need nobody? Then Allah says you will return to me. Aroused. Inna ila rabbikal ruja. You will definitely return to me. So then Allah will find out, because then the time will be over. So now look at the word about Allah. Allah Himself is self-sufficient, because Allah doesn't depend on. Nobody gave knowledge to Allah, because Allah already has the knowledge. That's the difference here. Because Allah is already knowledge. Allah knows everything. Allah is all-knowing, because that's one of the attributes of Allah. Allah is all-knowing. Allah is the one who is teaching you the pen and qalam. But Allah knows everything. Allah does not need the way human being depends on that. Allah can send a message to any communication, any form of communication, through the pen or pencil or osmos code or digital code, any type of technology. Because all technology is given by Allah to a human being. So this is exactly this. So Allah is self-sufficient. So in this way, Allah is Al-Wajid. That's one of the beautiful attributes of Allah. Allah is Al-Wajid. He's a self-sufficient. And we're going to give example of Al-Wajid here is not there. That's why we'll find out later on. We could trace that. And other one is that Allah is Al-Majid. Wajid and Majid. Majid is the glorified one. Okay? And there is, I think that's the attributes here. Let's look at one of the, it's another attribute, but we can look into it also. I heard about the both ways before now. Glory be to Allah, praise be to Allah. Sometimes we use those words because the one has a praiseworthy, Allah. If you use this word Al-Majid or Al-Majid in that sense, so you're going to go with Al-Hamid. Last time we used the word attributes of Allah, Al-Hamid, which is the praiseworthy. Allah is the one. And Alhamdulillah, when we use Allah is the most, all praise is due to Allah in that sense. And Al-Wajid, the other attribute, we can use that similar to that. And Al-Aziz, and that again, those similar attributes, Al-Aziz. So these are the one is Allah is the most glorified one. So nobody just, you praise someone that who He is the most majestic and most praiseworthy, because Allah is the one who created everything. Allah is all-knowing, all-hearing, all those attributes. That definitely require appreciation. We appreciate or praiseworthy, because everybody depends on it. So in that sense, you get that knowledge of that attribute. And the other one is, this is the most popular one, which we all always know. Allah is Al-Wahid, which is the one. Okay. There's a lot of examples here, we see it. And we will look into, let's see, chapter number 2 and 1. And if you look into that also, when we say Surah Fatiha, Surah Ikhlas, Qul huwallahu ahad, So this is exactly the idea is Al-Wahid. Ahad, the similar term, we use that, similar roots actually, it goes with the one. Allah is the one, is the absolute one. Okay. There is a one and one is the absolute one. There are two different ones. When we say the one can be divisible. You can divide one into half. Okay? You can divide one into half. Or you can say 3 in 1 also. You can make one combining 3, just like Christianity has said, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost, the three are one. So you can make one out of three, or you can divide one into 1/2 or 1/3. You can do that also. 1 in 3, 3 in 1. But when we in Islam, when we define Allah is one, is indivisible. The one is absolute. It cannot be divided just like in a part and pieces, you know. And that kind of idea is this one is absolute one. So the definition, when somebody talk about the mathematical one, that's not the mathematical one. So ahad is the one, and Hebrew word is ahad, a similar word. When the Hebrew, if you use those rabbi, if they talk about Allah, they will say ahad. And we use the word ahad with the Qul Wallahu ahad. Okay. So here is the wahid, you know, so Allah is one. And well, let's see some example here is 2:163.
إله واحد لا إله إلا هو الرحمن الرحيم.
And your God is one God. There is no deity worthy of worship except Him, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
So now we understand. This is a beautiful way that Allah described. And your God is one God, and there is no deity worthy of worship except Him, the entirely merciful and especially merciful. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses sometimes sentence. How many attributes in that? Wahid itself is attribute. And your Lord, your God is one God, and there is no God beside Him, basically. And Ar-Rahman, Rahim is entirely merciful and especially merciful. The three attributes in the one statement, and using Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and talking about Allah is one, Allah is wahid. And let's see the other one, the example we use here is the 573.
قد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله ثالث ثلاثة وما من إله إلا إله واحد وإن لم ينتهوا عما يقولون ليمسن الذين كفروا منهم عذاب أليم.
They have certainly disbelieved who say, Allah is the third of three, and there is no God except one God. And if they do not desist from what they are saying, there will surely afflict the disbelievers among them a painful punishment.
Okay, that's a very powerful message, and a very important surah. The verse actually talks about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It describes two types of one. One, we just discussed about that, 1/3 or 3, and 1 in 3 or 3 or 1. We just talked about before. One can be 1/3 like a 3 or 1 or 1 in 3, and other one is absolute one. So Allah talks about Allah is not the one that people think about. And that's why sometimes people talk about Trinity and they argue with us. Allah clarified that. Whether it's a 1 or 3 or 3 or 1 doesn't make sense when it comes to the attributes of Allah is one. So in this surah is very important. They have certainly disbelieved. Allah says now, they have certainly disbelieved. Yeah, that's very powerful. Okay. They have certain, we're going to do last, this is going to be, they're going to set up, we'll finish right now. See, they have certainly disbelieved who say Allah is the third of three. Third of three, you know, like say they have God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost. Okay? So Allah is the third of the three. That's why they divided the God into 3 pieces, you know. Now, and there is no God except one God. But Allah is saying no, there is no God but except one God. So Allah is not third of the 3, you know. And they do not, if they do not desist what they are saying, there will surely afflict the disbeliever among them a painful punishment. So it's very dangerous area for a human being to think about Allah is more than one God, or Allah is the one of the 1/3, 1 in 3 or 3 in 1. So this is not true. Allah is absolute one. When we say Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Allahu Samad, Lam Yalid wa Lam Yulad wa Lam Yakul Lahu Kufuwan Ahad. So this is a very important aspect and attributes of Allah. When Muslims say Allah is one, that means it cannot be divided. It cannot be multiplied, cannot be added, cannot be divided. Allah is absolute one. When something we use the word absolute, it means this is absolute. This is the only one that has a special understanding, which is Allah has an absolute one. And that's basically the belief of Muslim or all monotheistic belief. If they believe Allah is one in that way, they are a true believer. And that's basically, Allah said there are people who disbelieve, who said Allah is one of the third, or 3 in 1, or 1 in 3, any way or any form. The way it changed, distort this idea of one, they are disbeliever. That's important to communicate. So we'll finish here. And the next program will be the Hajj seminar or Hajj workshop. So we'll end here. It will be a short class. Inshallah, next week we will cover the rest of the attributes of Allah.